Ask This Old House, our experts travel across the country to answer questions about your house. Today, we'll share the best tips and tricks you can do now to protect your garden this winter. Show you the right way to paint kitchen cabinets step by step. And we'll replace some old trim on a classic front door. All that on Ask This Old House. Hey, Jen.
Hey, Kevin.
Look at all of this. So come November, are you sad that all your work is starting to die off and the color's going away? Or are you happy because you're getting a break?
I kind of like both, but the most important to me is that all the hard work that we did throughout the year, spring, summer, fall, you want to also protect it in the winter, right? So there's a number of things that need to happen, and I think there's 3 top ones for me, which is water, clean up, and then protect all those plants.
All right, let's go through those. I'm surprised to hear water is first on the list, right? I mean, I'm watering when it's hot out and it's the middle of summer.
Right, okay, so statistically, October and November are really dry months.
Yeah.
And then typically it freezes in December, right? So what you want to do is keep those plants water. Think of natural rainfall when water soaks into the ground. You don't want it too soggy, but it is the insurance card that you're going to keep those alive, because think of it this way, also December to March, they don't get one drink.
So this is the last drink for them before they go to bed, so make sure they actually have a drink.
Right, especially broadleaf evergreens, needled evergreens, and new plantings.
Oh, okay. So water was the first. What was second on the list?
Cleanup.
Cleanup. So let's talk about the cleanup. What are we doing?
Okay.
Are we pruning the bejesus out of everything?
Well, there's all different things, right? There's perennials, and let's start there.
All right.
So perennials, this is an echinacea, a coneflower. All your perennials you want to cut to bed, right? You want to cut them all the way back to the bed. So what I do is take it, I'm not going to cut this one because it's still looking pretty good and it's in a pot, but I'm going to take it back to 2 inches tall. Most perennials you want to cut back to 2 inches tall, right?
And you'll be okay doing that because they won't look this good, right?
They won't look
at
this
this point
good.
they're saggy.
They're going to be brown and slimy,
Yeah.
and then you're just going to want to just have it clean and tidy.
And just so we know, the perennials are the ones that come back every year no matter what.
Correct.
Whereas
So
the
they
perennials...
These are the annuals, these are the bulbs,
Right.
these are the perennials. Perennials come back every year. Annual means you have to put them in annually. So this will be all brown and slimy as well. This is a mum, and you just pull it out of the ground, and if you have bulbs, I typically like to put them in the place of that hole.
Oh, that's
Or you
clever.
could just fill it with compost so it's ready for the next year in your next round of annuals.
Toss that into your compost pile so it's ready to go next year.
Exactly, compost it.
And bulbs are big too because these things can only go in the ground certain times of the year. What do you got here? These are tulips.
These are tulips, and they have to go in the ground
Wow.
during this time of year, because you can't put them in for the spring. They have to do their thing in the ground. And when you plant them, you could even put 5, 7, 8 in a hole.
Right.
Then you'll have a big bouquet.
But the key is they got to go now.
They have to go in now, otherwise they're not going to bloom.
Okay.
Here's another one. It's an ornamental grass, right? Sorry about that. So this is a twofold, right? You could either leave it up all winter, because it'll turn that brown, beautiful tan. It adds winter interest to your gardens. Birds love it because they'll take the pieces and make a nest. But sometimes you see them planted in parking lots, and because they're so durable. And then those people want to cut them back.
So these are perennials.
These are
So
perennials.
eventually they're going to get cut back. So we can do that now.
You could do it now, but typically what you're supposed to do is cut them back in late winter. So that in New England, that's February,
Oh, I
early
got
March.
you.
So what you just want to get it before the new growth comes out. You could see how they cut this one back in the pot. To me, it still looks a little messy because this is where they cut it back last year.
So that's last year's growth. That's died back.
Yeah, but if I cut it back right here,
A little lower.
yeah, it's just not apparent and your eye doesn't go to it. My eye goes to brown things. I
Yeah.
want to get rid of them.
So late December if you don't want the winter interest. If I do want the winter interest and all this stays,
Yep.
you can get rid of that.
Yeah.
I do it, what, then in the spring?
Yes. February or early March.
Oh, that early.
Before all the new growth starts
Gotcha.
to emerge.
Okay, so that was water, that was clean up, and your third was protect.
Protect. You want to protect what you've done all season, right? So we clean that up, we cut it back. insulation. So think of all that water that you put in, you want to mulch the areas. So you could use bark mulch, you could use hay.
You put mulch down in November? I put it down in the spring to make everything look beautiful.
Well, you don't have to, but if you have a brand new plant that you want to protect, and then for it to look all tidy during the season, that's what you want to put like 2 to 4 inches down. Right, it depends on the area.
What's the protection then? What am I protecting? Everything's fine. It's November,
Okay,
right?
so when the hard freeze hits, the roots are still very tender underground, right? So it acts like, if you have it 2 to 4 inches above the ground, it acts as an insulation layer and it helps moisture retain in the ground.
Okay, so mulch goes down, and then in terms of...
One more thing, you could also use the leaves that have fallen off the tree, right?
Yeah.
So, but what you want to do is shred them up, because if you put just the leaves themselves, they could form a cakey mat. Yeah. So if they're shredded, they're going to break down easier.
Okay.
Okay.
In terms of the sort of evergreens, this is juniper, correct?
This is juniper, and this is a ground cover type. They're really bulletproof, salt tolerant, durable. You don't really need to do much to this.
But something a little bit more fragile, boxwood, right?
Yep. So good. Look at you with your plant.
I'm learning.
So this is considered a broadleaf evergreen, and these leaves could get the moisture sucked right out of them if they're in a windy area, or if they're planted along a walkway or sidewalk that you salt during the winter. It's going to rip that moisture right out, right? So there's a couple things we could do. This stuff right here, it's an anti-desiccant, and what it does, it coats the leaves. So if you look at the back of these leaves, there's pores on it, right? And so what it does is help seal those pores, and so the water does not rip out of it.
And I can literally just go
Douse
around
it.
the entire thing.
Yep.
Gives it a coating. We're good to go.
Exactly.
Anti-desiccant. And what do you got for this?
Wait, before we go to that,
Yes.
I have twine. So a lot of people don't like to put burlap around their plants,
rare.
but some people do. If you have a high traffic area that needs protection, you have to use that. But sometimes with snow, people just gently take this around.
Yep.
And so when the snow comes, all you have to, it'll help hold it in place, because a lot of these get splayed out.
We don't want the snow and ice to actually pull these guys down, damage the plant, snap it off like that.
You're right. So
And now my hand is anti-desiccanted it. All right.
it'll be waterproof.
So when do you use this? And what's the proper way to use the burlap?
Okay, so when you take this, what we're gonna do is wrap it. But you don't wanna wrap it too tight that it constricts the plant. You want it to help keep its natural form.
You said high traffic area?
High traffic area, snow areas, salt areas, and really, really windy areas.
So you're
That'll
around
damage
it
the plant.
completely.
So you wanna wrap it around, right?
Yep.
You tuck it in, you grab that twine there,
I'm grabbing this.
right? And of course, it would look a little bit different if it was in the ground.
Right. So you want a light tie? Mm-hmm. How about I give you a knot right here?
Perfect.
I don't like the look of this either, but...
But if it's gonna protect your investment,
I mean, if it's mature and you know it's going to get beat up, you're just going to have to bite the bullet and do it. How's
Exactly.
this? Loose?
that's
Tight?
a little loose. You can tighten it up a little bit. But the other benefit is this burlap, the wind can penetrate through, water could get through, but it's not so much that it's gonna harm the plant.
Okay.
So that's great.
So water,
Yep,
clean,
Yep.
protect, we're good to go.
that's right. And then you wake up in the spring and it's go time again.
Look at the smile. Ready for go time. Thank you, Jen.
You're welcome.
Can I anti-desiccant? Okay, Mauro, this is a project a lot of people are thinking of doing.
Absolutely. There's a lot to love to paint kitchen cabinets.
So, I mean, they get dinged up, they get banged up, you know, and it could cost a fortune to replace them. So painting them is a great option.
It's a great option, and it also will upgrade the look of your kitchen.
All right, so how do we do it right?
First, what we're going to do, we're going to have to remove the doors and door hinges.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to take the hinges off, we'll take the doorknobs off, and we're going to number the doors. When time to go back, we know exactly what they have to go to.
This is easy because our little demo here just says 2 doors, but if you've got an entire kitchen, you could end up with 20 doors and 20 drawer faces, and you could lose your way quickly.
You can lose your way really fast, but the first thing we do, we label them one by one. So we get a way to label them, the way we know what they have to go back to. That's the easiest way to do it.
All right, well, you want to start by getting the stuff off?
Very good.
There's one for you.
Got one for me.
I'll go low, you go high.
I'll go high. I'll go like this right here. Okay, I'm gonna label this This is my door on the right. I'm gonna label number 1.
1.
Okay, 1, and we'll put an R. This will label number 2, L.
So once you have them off,
Okay,
then we can start the prep work.
once we have them off, we're gonna have to degrease them. It's a kitchen cabinet. By using the boots that has some grease on it, we're gonna remove that.
Okay, check that out. A lot of grease on that already.
It doesn't, it look clean, right?
Yeah.
As soon as you get started to it, you can show it. All right, Kevin, the grease is done. Now it's time to lightly sand. We're gonna use this about 220 grit blocking sanding.
Okay. And this is just so that our primer is going to adhere.
That's what the primer is gonna adhere to the surface.
So the little sheen that we're getting from probably the poly on the surface of this. will be-
Absolutely. When you see the white going on right there, this white dust, that means we're doing it right.
You know, it's not too bad, Mauro. Of course, we're only working on 1 cabinet. If we had to work on 20, it'd be a whole different story.
A whole different story. A lot more people involved too. All right, so our next step to get the dust off, get some tap cloth and wipe it out.
Okey doke.
All right.
Look at all that, though. I mean, you know it's working when you get that, right?
Everything clean?
Everything's clean.
All right, so it's time to prime.
All right, let's get some primer up here.
All right, so you got the primer right there.
So your choice of primer, what do you like?
Well, I like this water-based interior primer.
Water-based interior.
Water-based primer, yes.
Okay.
It's a good quality one. It will stick well to the surface.
And again, you know, this is exposed oak, raw wood. If it was paint that we had sanded down, same primer?
Same primer. All right, we're gonna do all the large flat surface with the mini roller. That goes really well for that. And the areas that we can get with the mini roller, we're gonna have the brush.
Okay. In terms of coverage, Mauro, what are you looking for? Are you looking to get it all white or a little bit of this see-through okay?
I think a little bit is fine, because we're gonna follow up with the 2 finish coats, Kevin.
2 finish coats?
Yeah. All right, Kevin, prime is dry. It's time to do some painting.
Top coat.
Top coat.
Do it.
All right.
So what are you using for a top coat?
So we're gonna use this special paint cabinet and trim, and then water-based enamel.
Water-based enamel and special for cabinets and trim. What
Cabinet
makes it
and trim.
special? Like what properties make it good for cabinetry?
It's enamel. It has this hard finish that you can take the scuff and the abuse.
Okay, so we got a little hard to finish. And what are we talking about? We talking satin, semi?
We're talking about there's satin, semi, or gloss. This one we're gonna go semi-gloss. It's all about preference.
Okay, personal
All right.
preference.
And the color name calls Downtown Gray.
Downtown gray.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's a good color, Mauro.
It's gonna look good with that counter there.
Blues and grays in kitchen cabinets right now, very hot.
Very hot.
This goes on nice with that base coat, that primer.
Really helped, doesn't it?
You get coverage after the first layer, after the first coat.
Yep. Well, I mean, it's a good quality paint, so we expect a lot of coverage on the first coat.
Okay, last knob right there.
It's done.
Look at that, huh? 1 base coat, 2 top coats.
2 top coats. Color goes really well with the counter, and I also have this durable finish on it.
Brand new life for that cabinet. Nice job, Mauro.
Thank you.
Hi, Sophia.
Hi, Nathan.
Nice to meet you. I got your email about some door trim.
Yeah, absolutely. My fiance and I have been living in our home for about 2 years now, and we've been doing a lot of projects. And as we walk around the neighborhood, we see some really beautiful decorative trim around other front doors, and we'd love to do something similar in our house.
Absolutely. We can definitely dress that up for you. First off, what you have is vinyl siding with aluminum coverage over your existing trim, which is really common all around the country. So what we can do is remove that aluminum and the trim behind it, install some new PVC trim that'll really dress it up. I brought some parts and pieces based on the inspiration photo that you sent me in your email. You want to take a look?
Awesome, sounds good.
So here's everything we need to do the project today. What I picked up is a bunch of PVC stock. It is fantastic to work with. A lot of people use it in all the trades. You know, there's pipes that are made out of it. You have trim around doors and windows. What I picked up was some square stock to build it back out to the height of the vinyl. I have a pre-made head casing for up top, some fluted trim to go down the left and right side, and some small PVC profiles that we can use to dress things up at the end. So to fasten everything to the house, we're going to use these screws and plugs that will disappear once they're installed. For any of our cuts that we make, returns or outside miters, I picked up this 2-part PVC glue, which is going to mix in the tip. It's going to create a really strong bond. And for fastening those small profiles to the top, I have some stainless steel brad nails.
So why are we using these type of nails?
We're using the stainless steel nails because they are streak-free, rust-free, and with the brad nail that has a small head, it won't show up too much.
Great.
All right, let's get started.
Awesome.
So the first thing we have to do is get some of this aluminum coverage off, and that's pretty easy to do. You're going to look around, we'll see some white trim nails that they put this on with. So we'll slowly pull those out, see if we can get this off in one piece. If we need to, we can get a knife, score it, snap it, and break it away. Expose the pine underneath, pull that off, and then get back to the sheathing.
Awesome, sounds good. Let's get started.
Get some eyes. You want to go grab a ladder, and we'll get those high nails.
Sure.
So we have a left and a right filler piece.
Okay.
So I'll show you how to use the nail gun. We're just going to tuck this in and it'll help build it out. So all you do is just put it in. You can push it and then pull the trigger, or you can pull the trigger and then bump it.
Push. Oh. And then how far down should I go?
You can go like every 16 inches.
Okay. That was fun.
Now we just got to wrap it.
Awesome.
So I'm cutting a self-adhering membrane like this right here. It's got a peel and stick back. And we're going to put this on our new Buildout. And what's great about this is peel and stick, so it's easy to put on. It will help shed water. And when a screw goes through it, it will seal as it goes through. So it'll keep it nice and tight.
Awesome. Sounds good. And to just keep pulling and pushing?
Yep, keep pulling. And after we get it all in place, I have a roller. We'll come back and roll it.
Okay. All right, I think this side's done.
All right, nice. All right, now we're ready to start our build out. Now that we have it all weatherproof behind, we'll start building it out in layers. And the first layer is really just a surround all the way around with some 3/4 stock. So I'm gonna take accurate measurements. I'll go cut all my pieces, install all of them, and then we'll start adding the other layers like the header and the flutes and everything else. But first, let's fill the back. Okay, so what I picked up is this pre-made head casing. It's really nice. It's got a ram's head built into some 5/4 stock. What's really good is it has this integrated flange up here that we can tuck up behind our aluminum coverage, so any water that comes down will go down the face and drip off the front.
Awesome, keeping things dry.
Yeah, perfect.
Cool.
All right, I'm gonna put a 45-degree miter on it.
So how do you know where to center that header piece?
So I found the center of the door, and then I found the center of my casing that I'm adding.
Okay.
And just put those two lines on top of each other, and it'll be centered on the opening.
All right.
All right. So now that we have our plinth blocks in, we want to drop our fluted trim down, but you can see that when I add this decorative band, which will look great around the bottom, you're going to have all these little voids. So we just took a scrap piece to build it up. We'll brad that on, drop our flute on top of that, and then come with our bands underneath, return the ends, so they'll look really sharp.
Awesome, I think it'll look great.
Now we can add the fluted trim. To dress it up a bit, I'm going to do a subtle build out below the header. All right, let's add the last few touches. And the final step is filling the holes with these PVC plugs.
That was the last one. Here's your mallet.
Good job.
It looks great.
Glad you like it. Pretty good transformation for a day. Only thing I would recommend is pressure wash it once a year to keep it white, but other than that, you got nothing to worry about.
Awesome, thanks so much for coming out.
You're welcome.
One, two, three, nice and slow, don't rush it.
Next time on Ask This Old House, there we go. We are going to spend the entire day working for Mark McCullough. He had an incident about a year ago. His chicken coop burned to the ground. He wanted to rebuild it, and the entire group decided we'd lend a hand. All that next time on Ask This Old House.